Welcome into the Fan Addict Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your boy Coach I, where all my dogs at. All right, today we are doing a special show, the first of many. We'll be doing it weekly. It's called the Fan Addict Football Live, sponsored by the Tailgate Kings and Johnson Development Group. I got some special guests with me, some people who got some intimate knowledge of the game of football and the Georgia Dogs. We're going to bring them in, we're going to introduce them, and then we're going to jump right into it. So the first person up is going to be Jevaris Johnson. We call him JV. What's going on, JV?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Pleasure to be here. Appreciate the love, appreciate the opportunity, man. Looking forward to a lot of great conversations.
Next up, we got E-Rob, better known as Erik Robinson. What's going on, E?
Man, I'm just happy to be here, happy to be here with my brother. We're going to chop it up. I'm all dog all the time. I'm done.
That's what's up. And we got a previous Fan Addict guest, a Fan Addict alumni, Cory Allen. We call him CA. What's going on, CA?
Man, I'm excited to be here. Been doing this for a while, getting ready to talk about it with a lot of guys I shed blood, sweat, and tears with. Looking forward to it. Dog's got a big season on the table, and it's our job to not misrepresent. So we'll be sure to do that.
All right. Sure. Next up in the Fan Addict gonna be Thad Parker. What's going on, Thad?
Like everybody else, happy to be here. Being a former dog myself, I'm ready for the 2021 season, ready to kick it off, ready for a bunch of good talk, whether it be positive or negative. That's the only way to get better. Let's go. Let's get it.
That's right. All right. And last on the screen, but not last in the audience, in the group, is going to be Cal. What's going on, Cal?
What's going on, Zay? It's cool, Cal, man. Cal. Been a fan of the Dogs. What up, E? Been a fan of the Dogs, man. There's some of my old brothers on the line, man. I'm glad I was invited into the group, man. I love football, love the Dogs, man. Just ready to see the Dogs do something this year and talk about it.
That's what's up. And off camera, our stat guy, our research guy, whatever we need, off camera, we got C-Rob, Cory Robinson. What's going on, Cory?
What's going on, my brothers?
All right,
man. A few words.
Hey, the man, a few words. Be there when we need him. All right, we're gonna jump right into this thing, man. Give y'all a little taste of what y'all gonna get to see this season, man. We're gonna talk about the NIL. That's name, image, and likeness. Now, these brothers played back when I was in school, so they didn't get to take advantage of that. And I'm pretty sure some of them got some ideas. So let's start down there with Thad. What you got on the name, image, and likeness, Thad? How you feeling about it, dog?
Man, 20 years too late. But on a serious note, I mean, I'm loving it. I'm very excited for what it's going to bring to the college game. I think it's going to give some schools, some better advantages than they had in the past. And I'm excited to see how this money starts flowing. I want to see the trickle down effect, and it's finally happening.
I know, and then with the Dogs, you got JT Daniels got that NIL deal where he signed. He got it with a sports card agency. He it's like he get $100 per signature. It could be up and make up to 7 figures. Now, awesome. With that said, CA, you think that'll cause any kind of disruption in the locker room or anything for the dudes that ain't getting no money?
Not at all, because if you ain't getting no money, it's your fault. Money been passed around since way before now. This ain't nothing new. It's just now legal. So if you got a problem with it, that's probably your performance-based issue. You need to get out on the practice field. You need to build your resume so that you can get some of this money instead of hating on the next man. That ain't never been a part of the program. Yeah, we all would love for this to have happened 20, 30 years ago so we could take advantage of it. Right now, these guys need to make sure that they're doing the smart things with the money, make sure it's going to the right places, making sure you're dealing with good people. But it's definitely an opportunity for bonding. I mean, we've all heard JT Daniels has taken the stage as far as the forefront with the big 6-figure deal, potentially 7 figures, and he's pulling in players with him. So yep. I think it's got a chance to, I mean, if I know my quarterback just put some money in my pocket, please believe it just changed in the huddle.
He's and I'm
guy.
For real. And now, in the past couple of seasons, man, you have a lot of kids sitting out during bowl season, getting ready for the league if they ain't playing in the playoffs. With the NIL, JV, You think these corporations gonna require these kids to play all the games, or how you think that's gonna go?
I doubt if they're gonna be able to require them to play all the games. But I don't really know how that contractual back end work either. You know what I'm saying? So I think what we currently are is extremely new, and it's the wild, wild west. We ain't gonna really see no true handcuffs put on this thing for another couple of years until somebody do something that's completely wrong with it. But let me just say this, man. I'm salty. I'm salty because I want some of that cash. Hey, being a charismatic brother like I am, man, I know I would have talked me up a couple of contracts. I ain't even worried about it. But to CA's point, I think what was big, man, as far as JT Daniels go, yeah, you know it's not the quarterback commands the most attention. The quarterback commands the most notoriety, and of course, the most boos that come out of fans' mouths also. But for this guy to say, you know what, I'm gonna get this cash, I'm gonna put money into the pockets of my guys. And we all know it's gonna be guys out there, no matter how much money flowing through, they really ain't gonna get it, and they could be putting in blood, sweat, and tears too. I'm talking about like walk-ons and stuff. I think that this is kind of cool, man, that he would take that step, because what it does is, out of everything, it bonds you to that person, man. That guy done put money in your pocket in college.
For real.
That bonds you.
And one of the NIL meetings he went to, he actually took two of his teammates with him before he even had the deal, to try to put them on. So, like y'all said, I think it's definitely going to create even more cohesion in that huddle and in that locker room. So, E-Rod, what you feeling, man? Are you salty like JB, or you just happy the kids getting paid finally?
There's no doubt I'm salty. I'll let y'all know that in the pre-production meeting. I'm salty as hell. Yeah. But on a serious note, it's not even about just football, just the fact that you're able to make money outside of the game. I mean, because like with this platform, if you're popular on YouTube, I mean, there's avenues to make money. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You can use that notoriety that you have, even if you're not a popular player, you're on the Georgia football team, you can use that as a stepping stone to do something else and make money. And you should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I mean,
awesome
what are we talking about here? If you're able to do it, if you're able to generate that revenue, you should be able to get it. I don't even know why it was a question to begin with, but it is what it is. I'm glad they got it right now.
I think it was just the NCAA. They want all the money for themselves. So, that's what the holdup was, really.
But they're still going to get their money.
True that. So how you feeling about it, Cool Cal?
Man, those are some great points that you just brought up, E-Rob. Some things that I didn't think about. It brings up some other outlets that you can obviously get into, because everybody's not going to go to the NFL, as we all know. But it gives you some other opportunities. And another thing that I think it does is I think it eliminates those Ty Gurley and those AJ Green situations that we've had with the Dogs. Because of a jersey or an autograph or whatever it was with Ty Gurley, now we're not going to have those seasons where we're losing great players because, maybe somebody gave them a meal or somebody did something for them. You know what I'm saying? So I hope it eliminates those situations and takes that out of college football.
Man, all y'all making good points, man. And while y'all was talking, I actually thought about something. You know how sometimes you have the juniors leave to go to the NFL early because they need to help their family financially. Even though they know they might be a 4th or 5th round pick with the NIL. If you're making a little cash in college, now you might not have to leave early, play that extra
season. Care of your family. You can help out.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now you can try to increase your draft status, and you might be a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round to get a little bit more money. So
along with getting that degree.
Along with getting that degree.
There you go.
So that I mean, I just think it's all around, like y'all said, I think it's been time for people to get paid to play. I mean, literally the NCAA football is $1 billion business, man. I mean, and it's time to spread that love, man.
But Isaiah, if I got a pair of gloves that's just sitting around at the house, I should be able to go out and sell those gloves. If somebody's willing to give me $500 for them, what you mean I can't do that?
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
And the thing is, they try to say, beforehand, like with the NCAA 14 PS PlayStation game, they try to say, well, we didn't have the players on there. bruh, if you wear number 80 like CA did back in the 90s at Georgia, and you put 80 on there and he walking like CA, that's name, image, and likeness, dog. You selling the image.
He wearing my number. He's slow like me. He ain't dropped the ball yet. Come on, man. They know they could have looked down.
All of us was on NCAA game break.
All of us.
Exactly. Exactly. And the good thing is Kirby from the jump seemed like he was with it. So that's a good thing when the head coach is behind you and support the players in it. I'm glad of that. But with that said, let's move into Kirby and the Dogs this season. So I'm pretty sure y'all done heard.
Yeah.
And I live in the upstate of South Carolina in the midst of Clemson and South Carolina fans. But we're going to tell them from a Georgia perspective. Is it playoff or bust for Kirby? And if we don't make the playoffs, is that seat getting warm? I'm gonna start with you, Cool Cal.
Woo.
What you think?
Woo! I like it. Kirby need to get to the playoffs. At least get to the playoffs this year. You got you got a stacked team. We're one of the few contending teams that actually has a quarterback with some starting experience coming back. He's also played in the Pac-12 a couple of years ago, so he's got a ton of experience. We got a ton of talent. And if we don't do it now, when is it going to be time for us to do it? Because this is Kirby's, his 6th, 7th year. And we've had a bunch of loaded teams, and I think it's time for us to get it done, or that seat needs to start getting hot. We can't continue to make excuses. Oh, well, this happened. This guy got hurt. This guy transferred. It's got to start coming together. It's got to come together on the field.
Okay. Hey, I'm with you. As fans, we want to win, and we definitely want to win now, especially at Georgia, man. We've been waiting 40 years for that next championship. But JV, you're lined up with the guy. You're suited up with him on Saturdays. Are you feeling the same way?
Absolutely. I mean, look, at the end of the day, man, listen, I came out of Alabama. I grew up an Alabama fan. People over there in Alabama are rabid. When they don't win championships, they go absolutely ballistic. And the Dogs, man, we starving like Marvin, like nobody's business. We need a ship. We wanted to come with Kirby. I wanted a chip to come from Kirby in the worst way. You know what I mean? We have the best talent that the squads have had since I've been around, even since I was there. I mean, these squads are stacked up with kids that can play and start anywhere in the country, and not just be anywhere, be at the premier teams in the country and start.
Yeah.
We definitely should be playoff or bust this year. Really, I'm Natty or bust. I want a Natty.
Because I think,
we said a long time ago that we want Kirby to make sure that we're relevant each and every year. We're in the conversation to win a championship each and every year. I know that we're there. You feel me? Yeah. I mean, it's only one team that win every year. I get that. But we're definitely always in the conversation. Okay. Now I want us to take that next step. And I don't want us to blow it. It's Natty or bust for me.
Okay. So Natty or bust for JV, but what if we play off, but we don't make it, like we lose in the first round, E-Rob? I mean, kind of like you seen Oklahoma make it like 4 years in a row, but they ain't made the championship. Do you need the playoff or do you need the Natty?
No, I want a national championship. Let me first start right there.
Okay.
I want a national championship. We should have a national championship. Every team around us in the SEC has won a national championship in the last 20 years. Every team. We're the only one in the middle of all these teams who have won a national championship. So let me say that right off the bat. Now, with that being said, we got to get to the playoffs this year.
Okay. That's
the minimum. We have to get to the playoffs this year. With this schedule, with this team, no excuses. We don't really play any great teams outside of Clemson this year on our schedule. There's no excuses. We have to get into the playoffs. And if not,
two top 25 teams. Thank you, Thad.
So we got to get there. And no excuses. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Because we're loaded at every position on offense and defense. We got to get there. And for me, I think if we get there, then anything can happen.
All right.
Got to get there.
There you go.
So we make it to the playoffs. We lose in the first round. Thad, you and CA played the wide receiver position. We may or may not have George Pickens. We may or may not have Erik Gilbert. Will that be enough to keep Kirby off the hot seat to say, okay, well, you didn't have two of the most talented wide receivers in the program?
I want to hear this. Ooh, I want to hear this.
No, because to kind of piggyback off what some of the other guys have said, you have to understand with the schedule that we currently have, with the recruiting wars that we have won for the past 4 years, when you lose a player, it's next man up. You want to be the Alabamas, you want to be the Clemsons. When one of their top players go down, they reload.
That's what they do. Yep.
Exactly.
So I don't want to hear anything about, somebody going down. Put the other 5-star in. We got plenty of them.
That's true. We got a loaded
we got plenty of them.
We got plenty of them.
So with that being said, for me personally, it's national championship or bust. Getting to the playoff, I just think that keeps the seat from getting warm.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
right. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Because we haven't made the playoffs, I think, in 3 straight years.
Yeah. 18, 19, and 20.
Right. So you just have to get there just to, keep the seat from getting warm. But I think even getting to the playoff in majority of fans' minds, like mine, is going to be a fail seat.
With that said, CA, what if we don't even win the SEC championship? What you feeling the talk on Kirby going to be coming into next year?
We don't win the SEC championship.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look, the expectation is national championship. I don't even entertain anything outside of that. But if you're asking me about Kirby being on the hot seat, that ain't gonna happen. I don't care how bad you're in your feelings. I don't care what you think about it. He ain't going nowhere because everybody can't recruit like that. Yeah, you can claim the mistakes, and I ain't say I came in with Kirby. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. If he make mistakes, we gonna have to call it to the carpet. But ain't no change getting made. You can be upset about it. You can say he might need to get better on game management. But we got the cupboard full of players. So yeah, even without Erik Gilbert or George Pickens,
he get 14 like Rick.
The expectation won't change regardless of who we got on the field. But I do feel like we got the right coach. It is about getting it done, and he's got to do it. But I don't feel like that seat's gonna be hot regardless of what he do.
Well, I feel like y'all in a collective way. I think it's of course for fans, we always want the Natty or bust. But when you talk about a hot seat, as a fan, what I don't want to happen, like because we want it too fast or we want to be like another program, if you ain't got a Nick Saban, if you talking about hot seat, you ought to automatically start thinking about replacements. If you ain't got a Nick Saban, a Dabo Swinney, Urban Meyer, or Ryan Day walking through the door, I don't want to talk about hot seat because just because somebody ain't winning natties don't mean I'm trying to do what Tennessee did and get rid of Philip Fulmer and then they in the fish tank for 20, 30 years. Like, I want a national championship. Don't get it twisted, but I do not want 20 years of seven wins or less. Like, so if that means that we got
and that's understood.
So if we if he don't win this year, if we have to hang on, I mean, we gave Rick 15 years though. I mean, Kirby at least
bar high regardless. The bar is high.
What's the threshold for Kirby? How many years he get for just being good?
It depends on again. When I think about firing a coach, I look at the landscape of who out there. So if we was, let's say 2 years from now, we ain't got no Natty. Nick Saban still at Bama, Dabo still at Clemson, Ryan Day still at OSU, Lincoln Riley still where he at, and we can't get Urban Meyer. Who we gonna replace him with?
There are always coaches out there.
My question is, are the next 2 years, are they more non-playoff years? Are we in contention? Because we haven't been really in contention in the last 2 to 3 years to where we say, well, on paper, we look like a national championship team, but we actually haven't produced like that. So if we go through 2 more years with JT Daniels, a 4-year quarterback, and we still can't make the playoffs, I'm not saying, oh, well, let's go fire him right now. But what I'm saying is we got to start thinking maybe he's not the guy because when is he going to be able to start getting it done and get into the playoffs?
Man,
Okay, all right. So CA, what you got to say? I see you got a little your face said you got a reaction to what Cool Cal just said. What you got, CA?
Yeah.
I don't know why you thinking 2 years down the road, man. We got, come on, man. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you anticipating 2 years from now? We got a game. Anticipate Clemson. Like, let's get through what we got in front of us. You think he gonna lose for the next 2 years and we just gonna sit here and eat that? No, we're gonna correct it all along the way, week by week. It ain't gonna never slide. It ain't never good enough until we get what we want. But ain't no 2 years we getting rid of them. That sounds crazy to me.
JV, what you
I think he's the guy. Let me go on record right now.
Hold on. JV, you've been sitting quiet. What you got?
I was just gonna chime in and say, I don't think that one Cal is saying in 2 years we just dump him out with the bathwater. But if you look at what he was really saying is, okay, we done been through 3 years of this where we ain't really made the playoffs. If this does continue, because we did ride with Mark Richt for a lot of years, right? Sit on the sideline looking at Mark Richt for a lot of years thinking, okay, well, next year will be the year. Do we start to then not only call him to the carpet and hold him accountable, right? But just realistically, he our homeboy, but look at it from a perspective of we want to win, and can we bring somebody else in to get us over that hump? I think that's a fair question. I think that's a fair assessment to think about because that's realistically what we're talking about. I don't think even if he don't make the playoff this year, he gonna get fired.
No,
absolutely not. Absolutely
no,
not.
but you know,
he's talking about the hot seat.
But a lot of people don't even question him right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't even question the thought of.
Yeah.
I think if things keep on happening, like we ain't making the playoffs or we're not as competitive as we should be, then the questions do start to creep in, just like they did with Mark Richt in year 14 and 15, instead of realistically, I feel they should have came in at maybe like year 11 or 12.
Honestly, I thought that as the fans was talking about a year 10. I ain't gonna lie for you though. Like just straight fans. E-Rob, you say you got something on it, E-Rob. What's going on?
Yeah, I just want to say this one right off the bat. I think Kirby is the guy. Personally, I think he is the guy that's gonna get us to where we need to go. That's just my personal opinion. Now, with that being said, if just staying with that same scenario that Cal just said and what JV said, that'll be 5 years us missing the playoff. That's not good enough. That's not good enough at Georgia. So once we get to that point, yes, I think the seat's gonna be really hot. And I want to say this to you, Isaiah, you can't be worried about striking out. We Georgia, we got resources. Go get the next guy. Urban Meyer wasn't Urban Meyer until he was Urban Meyer.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
You got to go get the next guy. Find him, pay him, and let's keep it going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be scared of that. I think that's why we held on to Mark Richt so long.
You're right.
Who's the next guy? Do that.
I think you got a point because when Mark Richt, I felt like when the fans was really calling for Mark Richt, that's when Tennessee was going through what they was going through, and then Florida really outside of Urban Meyer couldn't really get it together either, and they was like, you know what? We are winning 10 games. You got a point, E-Rob, because I know I said it a couple times during the Mark Richt era. I was like, well, we winning 10 games, and Tennessee barely can get to a bowl game. So, you know, because the last thing you want to do is be in the dumpster. But, I mean, like y'all all said, like, we Georgia, so we always going to recruit good. You know what I'm saying? So we shouldn't ever be going through nothing like that. So, I mean, what y'all think? And I'll start with you, Thad, has been the problem with getting over the hump. Now, and I ain't even just talking about like just little, you know, one call here or there, but like why you think we ain't won the championship? Not counting 2016 because that was his first year.
Wow, good question. Everybody have a lot of answers and no solutions. I mean, a lot of problems with no solutions. So I think that's a good question. Wow, I couldn't just pinpoint one exact thing. But what I will say is when the light shine the brightest, meaning our biggest games, I don't think we coach our best. Okay. We don't play our best. So it's a little bit of a combination of both. But I couldn't just pinpoint on one thing because we have the players. And like E-Rob just said, someone just said, we have the coach. So yeah, I couldn't pinpoint one thing. I think it's a combination of both. I think that's a great question. But to be fair to everyone, I couldn't just pinpoint on one thing. I would say a little bit of coaching, because we've seen some calls that maybe should have been called and not called. Same thing with the players. I mean, he made a great call in the national championship game, and the guy did something that he was never ever coached to do since Little League.
True.
And got us beat. So a little bit of both.
What about you, E-Rob?
You know,
I don't know. I narrow it down for you. Why didn't we make the playoffs in 2018? 2018, we lost to Bama in the SEC championship after leading them by 2 touchdowns.
Right. Okay. So here's what I want to say. Because I didn't want to say that, but I guess this is it. I think it does boil down to one thing why we haven't gotten over the hump. I don't think that we've had that transformational quarterback. We've had good quarterback. We haven't had that transformational guy. Clemson couldn't get over the hump until they got Deshaun Watson. He's a transformational. You know what I'm saying? He's different. We haven't had that guy. Don't say it. Don't even bring it up. Don't bring it up.
But I'm just being honest. The guy was the all-time SEC leading passer. I mean, that's kind of transformational.
No, he's not.
Wrong.
You talking about Aaron Murray?
No. The guy who just left. He from what's it from?
Jake Fromm.
He was all time.
Now Aaron Murray is
not the all-time leading passer.
Aaron Murray is the all-time.
Aaron Murray.
He was Mark Rick, but that's one reason, you know. I mean, that's one reason why Georgia fans and even the outside world like why Georgia had won, because we've had. I get what you're saying, E-Rob. Like since Kirby got there, I don't personally feel like Jake Fromm was good enough to win a championship. Like when you playing against a Alabama, when you playing against a Clemson, Ohio State, when they have,
but he the only one that took you to a national championship. Ain't nobody else did.
He was the quarterback, but
he was the quarterback,
but he didn't
take us to the national championship.
He couldn't lead us like into. So you know what I'm saying? Because had we I feel like it was more Nick Chubb and Sony Michel taking us to the championship on their back. And Jake Fromm, all he had to do was not turn the ball over, which, you know, he did. He did a pretty good job of that. But then
and he beat everybody else out as a freshman as well.
Yeah. Well,
but I think one of the problems with Fromm after his freshman year, it didn't seem like he got much better. It seemed like he regressed as a quarterback, because when we looked at him as a freshman and we said, okay, the next year, he should have gotten better, but it seemed like he got worse as each year went along, and that became a big problem. If he didn't get better, he couldn't bring those young guys along like he was brought along when he was a freshman.
What I will say about Fromm is in the SEC championship in 2018, at least the first half, Fromm balled out. Like he was throwing strikes
absolutely left and right.
I think in 2019, once Justin Fields transferred, Fromm didn't have anybody to push him. So it was like, okay, it no matter how I play. I'm not saying that he went out there saying I'm not going to play good, but he didn't have that person behind that iron sharpening that iron to keep him on.
He beat that guy out too.
So
yeah, I think 2019 was more an offensive coordinator, in my opinion, and I think that's on Kirby.
That's my overall from 2017. We've been playing bully ball. That's what we've been playing, dog. Like I know we have to run the ball, but we've been playing bully ball. Like my guys are stronger, bigger, faster than your guys. I can pound it down your throat. I get a 14-point lead, and then I just run the clock out. Problem is when you get a 14-point lead on Alabama, the game ain't over. When you get a 14,
it's just getting started.
You know, it just so happened when we played Oklahoma, they had one of the worst defenses ever. So even though they got up 17 on us, we still was able to just run through their defense like Swiss cheese. So I think this year, if Kirby let Todd Monken do what Todd Monken is hired to do, I think we will be in the playoffs and into a national championship. And then from there, they have to do what they have to do on the big stage. I think that's literally the one thing, whether we either in the playoffs or not in the playoffs. If Kirby come out and play bully ball, we'll go 10-2, 11-1. We'll, maybe lose to Alabama in the SEC championship. But if he come out and let Todd Monken use all those weapons each one of y'all guys have named on the show tonight, then I don't think it should be a problem.
But if you look at it, man, Alabama has only lost to spectacular quarterback play. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care how good your running game is against Alabama. If you do not have spectacular quarterback play, you are not beating Saban.
That's a good
transformational guy.
That's a good
you
point.
Just can't game plan for. He's just too good. He just breaks your game plan. Yep. We ain't had one of them guys at the quarterback position.
Yep.
That's recruiting fault.
The question to y'all is, do we have one now? Do we have one now?
All right, CA. CA, what's your opinion on JT Daniels, CA?
I like JT.
Okay.
I like him a lot. I like him because he takes chances. He's got the arm strength. He's not afraid to squeeze it into a hole, and he can make any throw he sees. It's a confidence level that I like in my quarterback. I like a guy that I feel like isn't afraid of the defense, understands what we're up against, and got the talent to take us where we want to go. I think JT's got a lot of those tools. He's not the biggest or the fastest or the most mobile, but it comes with a level of experience that he's had being beat up on both coasts, understanding the SEC play, knowing his offense, and understanding what the goal is. We don't got guys at receiver just to run out there and block. You need to get the ball in their hands, and they need to get it when they're on the run. So I like JT. I like what we got as far as under center is concerned. One thing I wanted to go back to, I think Georgia's two biggest problems, or Kirby's two biggest problems, Alabama and the fact that we hold what happened with Mark Richt against Kirby. I mean, he going into year 5. Am I wrong?
6.
Year 6?
6, yeah.
Yeah, I don't hold anything that happened before year 6 against him. So I feel like the development is there. I think the quarterback position is now a lot stronger than it was. Going back to what Erik said, if you don't have a signal caller that threatens the defense, you're really just boxing up your whole offense. That's really been a big problem for Georgia, whether the quarterback is white or black. Don't matter to me. I need plays made. I think JT Daniels puts us in a much stronger position to have success, primarily on 1st and 3rd down, when passing is really what we got to do.
Now, Thad, in pre-production, man, you expressed some concerns with JT. Before I'll let you get into yours. At the end of last year, JT did look better than the other quarterbacks that we had, and I like JT.
That ain't saying much.
I do think though that JT has to get used to the speed of the SEC, kind of referencing what CA said about playing on both coasts, because his deep ball wasn't the best deep ball, and I think he wasn't ready for how fast our receivers were. What you think, Thad? What you feeling about JT overall? Can he lead us to the Natty?
Well, it kind of goes back to what we're saying. I don't think JT, from what I've seen, is better than the guys we was previously talking about in a Georgia offense from our Murray.
Okay.
So I can see him. I think he takes more chances, but just as running the offense, I don't see him being better than any of those guys right now, if you ask me. And I don't know what everyone else has seen so much of that makes them feel so strongly about this guy. And one thing about this guy that he doesn't have what the other quarterback has, he doesn't have the surrounding skill players. So how is he going to uplift us so much? And he don't have the surrounding skill players, I think, that the other quarterback had in the past.
That's a good point. Go ahead, E-Rob. Get in there.
I just want to say this. I think that we could have won a national championship with Aaron Murray. I think the problem that we had during that time was the defense. We was in shootouts every game. Now, the one year that we had a good defense with him, we was a play away from getting the national championship game. You know what I'm saying? We was right there at it.
True.
I'm saying Daniels is not better than
hold on.
one of those guys.
Yeah, you were saying that JT reminds you of the dudes that were previous. So I'm just saying that. Okay.
No, I didn't say that.
No,
I said he was similar
JT,
to the dude. Okay, go ahead. Tell me
I said JT is not better than any of those two guys that we previously talked about, which was Aaron Murray and for Jake Fromm.
And I'm saying he's as good as Aaron Murray, and we would have won with Aaron Murray if he had the same defense that JT's gonna run out there with.
I got you. So E-Rob is saying they're comparable, Aaron Murray and JT, and now JT actually has the defense, whereas Aaron Murray didn't always have a defense.
So you see JT as being an all-time SEC leading passer. That's what Aaron Murray was.
I don't see that.
Yeah,
That's what E-Rod was saying.
No,
so.
I was speaking to
Okay,
E-Rod.
yeah. So I think
yes, that's what Aaron Murray did in 4 years. Here's what Aaron Murray did that JT did for us last year. They averaged right around 300 yards a game. Name me another quarterback who's done that outside of them two at Georgia.
that's true.
It don't happen. That don't happen.
Now the stats, I majored in math while I was at UGA. You can make stats say what they want them to say, but I feel both of y'all. You like with you, E-Rob, you saying the stats is there because nobody else is throwing for 300 yards a game outside of Aaron Murray and JT Daniels. But I see what Thad's saying because I can tell you right now, JT Daniels deep ball ain't nothing like Aaron Murray deep ball. I mean, and it's just something about Aaron Murray. I personally feel like Aaron Murray the best quarterback to ever play at Georgia. That's just my personal, because DJ didn't get 4 years. So let me put that out there first. But
on your show, you drunk.
Hey, I'm just saying, dog. We'll get it. That'll be another. We'll say that
topic for another day.
We'll say that topic for another day. I want to get cool. I want to get Cool Cal in here on this right here. So earlier, CA said he would like his quarterback to have that confidence to take them chances. I think one of the biggest differences between Jake Fromm and JT Daniels is Jake Fromm was known to make the safe play. And sometimes you need to trust your George Pickens. You need to trust your Arian Smiths. You need to trust your the CAs. You say, you know what? He looked covered, but it's 1-on-1, and I'm gonna give him a chance. So what you think, Cool Cal?
Right. I'm spot on with what CA is saying. I mean, we've got the guys to go out there, win matchups. I think where he's got to be really good is he's got to get it out short, intermediate throws, get the ball into those guys' hands and let them make the plays, instead of just trying to depend on him slinging it, down the field a lot. We got a lot of guys with a lot of speed. We got the fastest guy in college football on our team. Yeah. Let's get the ball in his hands so he can get out there and make plays. And I think if JT can manage the offense, get the ball in their hands, have that solid running game, and open it up some more, I think we can get where we need to be.
What about you, JV? How you feeling about JT Daniels? Can he take us to the promised land?
I think that from what I saw those last 5 games of the season last year, man, if we go out and we have a mixture of good offense, we traditionally over the past few years, man, we haven't the reason, let me just kind of jump back a little bit. The reason why you see such a dynamic ability for Alabama to score, man, is because those guys have an offense that's designed for their receivers to get open. We run a ton of routes that literally say, okay, you got talent, then you go make it happen. I don't think the scheme is indicative of getting them open. It's use your talent, push a guy off 12 yards, come back and catch the ball on a comeback. Run a slant. Whereas continuous movement routes aren't and haven't been as big in our offense. And that puts a lot of pressure on our defense. We have one of the best defenses in the land, man. You're going to tell me if these guys put up 24, 26 points, those defenses that we done had past couple years ain't going to hold up. So if he can be, I need him to be 100% who I saw him be in the last 5 games of the season. I don't need him to fall off. I don't need him to take any steps back. I need him to be 100% of that. And then in those key marquee games and those key matchups, I need him to be even just a little bit better. Then yes, he can take us to the show.
To piggyback on that, I think what you're saying is JT can take us there as long as Todd Monken's offense allows him to take us there. And I think Cool Cal or maybe E-Rod may have mentioned how our previous offensive coordinators, wasn't that great. So I think Todd Monken is the dude to do it, though. So with that said, I'm going to go around and outside of the Clemson game, I want to know what one game each of you are looking forward to outside of the Clemson game, because that's like low-hanging fruit. Thad, I'm going to start with you, though.
The Florida game.
Yep.
Because you want to beat them, or because you think that's going to be another tough game?
Well, I just think that's always a great team to play to let you exactly know where you are. And that's where you're going to generally be battling to win the SEC East anyway.
Okay.
So whomever wins that game generally takes the lead in the SEC East, which eventually leads to the SEC championship.
I got you. All right, CA, who you looking forward to us playing?
All of them, man. I would say Clemson, that's obvious, but Auburn, I'll go with the Auburn game. It's, y'all know I love that rivalry. We got Mike Bobo over there, a former Bulldog we know very well. We know Bo Nix is coming back to try to wreak a little havoc. They recruit well. They stay in our state heavy. Auburn's always in the mix. I know they're a Western Division opponent, but the SEC is the SEC. So we got to show up every week. Y'all don't give a damn who it is. We just need to strap on and go.
What about you, Cool Cal?
Oh man, like you said, all those games, but definitely the Florida game. Florida, the Auburn game, they're big rivalry games. They're probably the next two toughest games on the schedule. So, the cocktail party, I think that's going to be the biggest game because it's probably going to determine the East. So if we don't have that game, it's probably going to be a bad season anyway. We can't get that one.
All right, E-Rob, your turn, man. Who you looking forward to outside of Clemson?
I wish I can give you some diversity in my answer, but I can't do it. I'm from Florida. I can't stand the Gators, so I just like to mock the flow with them anytime we get the chance to play them. So I love when we play them and beat the hell out of them. So it's the Gators.
All right, JB, what you got for me, man?
Well, we already talked about it the last time I was on, which outside of that Clemson game, I mean, it's two games that always boil down our season on what we're going to go with. It's going to be Florida and it's going to be Auburn. Used to be Auburn because of where they were positioned in the season, right? We normally at the same spot. Either both of us have gotten better, both of us are injured, so we kind of are on the same plateau. We play them a little bit earlier this year, but kind of depending on if we win or lose Clemson, how we win or lose in Clemson, I think, man, it's going to those two teams right there are always our measuring blocks for the rest of our season and how far we're going to be able to go. So both of those cats.
All right, well, I'm going to close it with this shocker here. So if we beat Clemson, the game to look forward to is the Missouri game. Because if we beat Clemson, we will win the next. Oh. Listen. We beat Clemson, we will run the table. I don't respect Florida. I don't respect Dan Mullen. We will beat them handily, and the CFP rankings come out right after the Florida game. We got a whole bunch of 18 to 20-year-olds that if we beat Clemson, run the table, get to that Florida game, beat them, we will come out as probably the number one team in the nation. And Missouri is going to finish second in the East. Y'all, we got it on tape. I'm telling you right now. Missouri will finish second in the East because their quarterback is better than any other quarterback outside JT Daniels in the East. They got a good coach.
I'll take that juice box bet.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
We got to talk about this. Hey, we got to talk about this.
Hey, don't worry. Hey, don't worry. We will get into it. We will get into it in future episodes. So I think for the initial episode, it's a good talk, fellas. For everybody out there in YouTube land, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Get in the comments. Say what you don't agree with, what you agree with, who you want to hear more from, or whatever it is. If you got a topic you want these fellas to hit on, then we can do that too. For JV, E-Rob, Cool Cal, Thad, CA, and the man behind the camera, C-Rob, we are out of here. Go Dogs.
Good show,
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.